Yeah, I don't think there's just going to be too much of a war of attrition period when we talk about the agents, but when we talk about the individual aims, Sully, Cloud9, we are looking at Chaos 9 at this point. The core of 3 ready and raring to go, and they're all over towards that A site except for Vanity, who's looking to make a little bit of noise over towards B.
Very early poison orb going out to at least give the idea that there could be a rework back towards mid, and that's why we see these two players from Immortals kind of stick around. Shot up close, wanted to get some information, but him going down very early creates a little bit of an opening as Emil up top, and Ness is only going to be able to get a defined one. And Cloud9 Blue, they have 2 kills, but they're instantly pulling away as Vanity's made great space on the B site.
Yep, exactly that. It was just Vanity's lurk really pulling away that rotation from the A site. So information taken in now by Vanity. Immortals certainly just committing to an A hold, but as time goes by, of course, they're going to realize that everything is simply empty. It's just some good positioning by Vanity, though, just pulling all the way deeper over towards that mid side to potentially catch a couple of rotations. It's not going to happen, though. Starting things off here with Rossi with that first kill. The 2 other players for Immortals making their way back. It's a 3v3.
Standing ahead.
No!
1 enemy remaining.
Annoying flaw.
So very stellar from Immortals, at least. Coming back from that 3v4, the fact that they actually had a pretty decent defense over towards that A site. It is kind of difficult, at least on pistols, not to maintain one player at least as contact on a singular site. But the combination of efforts ends up working. This is just a little bit unfortunate, though. If Vanity didn't get caught out there by Rossi, things could have completely changed. But yes, Immortals doing just fine. We're going to be moving forward into the next round. SMG's coming back. Ares 2, Cloud9 just on that back foot. They just want to stack somewhere and just hold W.
And with that first round already coming to a close, there was a lot of issues, I think, from the Cloud9 camp in that post plant, right? The util coming out from Rossi, phenomenal to delay the push or at least separate the 2 parties and make it a lot easier for them to deal with that retake. Force Zeppa into like a 1v3 situation while his other 2 teammates are clogged up by a snake bite. We have a little bit of a tech pause, and we'll take this moment. Well, there really isn't much to talk about, seeing how we're only 1 round in, but I guess you mentioned it earlier before we went into the pistol round. We could talk about, I think you called it Chaos 9, right? With Leaf,
yeah,
and Vanity, the reunion, which is super nice to see.
Yeah, I would love to just spit about that for a quick second, because there's a lot of people that just simply don't know about that Counter-Strike history. So Vanity, Leaf, Zeppa, all 3 of them played on the Chaos Counter-Strike roster right before all 3 of them ended up moving back over towards Valorant. Vanity said, as he tried to explain why he came over to Cloud9, that some of the best teammates he had ever played with, period, was from that Chaos team. And he has tried his absolute hardest to get that 5 group into Valorant so he could be teammates with them. Honestly, it is kind of weird to just say out loud, somebody switched teams simply because, you know, they like the players. Like V1, they were still successful. Cloud9, they are becoming successful, and they have proven that they have really good results. But yeah, Vanity coming into this, Sully, I mean, if anything, he can just prove that he can take yet another team, yet another lineup to a top 5 competitive level. This is a great core for him to go, and it's reliable at that.
Yeah, and it's interesting. I think a lot of people were questioning, it's like, okay, Vanity is leaving a struggling team for another struggling team, but after that YouTube video that he posted, it makes complete sense. I mean, that Chaos lineup, you could tell the energy was there, and it really only fell apart because the organization wasn't able to support them. And so all 5 of them coming to Valorant, Teal obviously being the first, Jonji still currently in Counter-Strike. If that 5 were to come back and it became the Cloud9 roster, it would, I'm pretty sure it would make Vanity's heart very, very warm, and we could see a dominant lineup. But with these core 3, they've already shown results early on. They've only been together for a handful of, I wouldn't even say handful of days, at most like a week or 2. So yeah, the progress that they've made already, it's looking really solid. Now, we're only early days. Obviously, Immortals winning that pistol are also in a really similar position where they need to prove themselves with their new 5-man roster.
Yeah, very, very true. Immortals, they have always been kind of the story of really just random free agents. Immortals, they have always had an incredible scouting management core at their organization, and they have just been making banger move after banger move after banger move in Valorant. And really, we see multiple tier 1 teams with some of their ex-players, and it is kind of funky to me that Immortals has made what is debatably one of the weirdest moves in North American Valorant. We saw it literally with Cloud9 a couple months ago when they picked up Zeta, or they trialed Zeta and they just play with them online instead. But with Emil, we legit have no clue. We know that he's a trial. We know that he's from Europe-ish. We have no clue where he's playing from. We have no clue if his future is in NA. But Sully, actually looking deeper into Emil and his whole purpose for even playing NA, it's actually really cool. This guy really just wants to come to NA. He just wants high quality competition. So he just plays high ping on the matchmaking servers, and he's actually been able to get himself a trial spot with Immortals. Like, that's just an inspiring story. I'm actually a big fan of this guy.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see if this move becomes a permanent one, because, I mean, Immortals beating out Renegades 2-0 with someone on 100 ping, it's not something to scoff at. It's definitely a big achievement for the Immortals lineup. So it's going to be interesting to see if Emil becomes a permanent move, right? Obviously, with COVID going on, I think the visa issues also come into play, or the plane issue, right? Maybe he's not able to fly over. So if he does become a permanent addition, it'll be super exciting to see. But I think for now, I feel like he might just be a stand-in. However, why pick up a stand-in that's playing on 100 ping when you've got an crazy deep talent pool over here in North America? And to jump back to your point about how good the scouting is here for the Immortals camp, there's definitely some sort of underlying reasoning as to why.
I would feel like there has to be like a deeper reasoning to it, like he has full intentions of coming to NA, or there are already plans for him to come here, and simply he is playing a little bit earlier. But folks, we are literally just speculating. Do not take any of our words seriously when it comes to the actual future of Emil, because we legit have no clue. The way that we find out that Emil was even playing for Immortals was by watching the stream a couple days ago, and then Immortals made the announcement that Emil was playing. So it is kind of just a weird situation in general. I am just excited for Immortals, period, because again, it's the scouting. I don't want to doubt them. I don't want to doubt them, because they've had players like Shanks in their lineup. They brought up Yor, they brought up Dicey, they brought up Asuna. So Immortals know what they're doing, right? I would like to think.
Yeah, there's no question about it. If they can develop this 5-man roster like they have in the past, and hopefully, I think the biggest thing with the Immortals is like it's always just been a revolving door, and they've never really been able to hold on to like a super solid 5 that can find consistent success. I think like the best roster that they had was probably that first strike roster where Shanks had to do that like very last second stand-in, or even when they had JC Stan in that lineup alongside Gangsta, alongside Shot Up. That was a very good roster with Chemicals and Nature, but again, just a revolving door of players. Immortals, they haven't been able to sustain a core 5. Is this the one that develops? We said that about the last roster. We said that about the one before that had Kohler and Dicey and Asuna.
Yeah.
It's just a big question. Is this going to be one that finally sticks?
It comes down to the management team in all reality, because I mean, if the team does well, they'll stick. Like that's it. It's any pug mix team that's, you know, that they come up out of basically nowhere, unsponsored, except we're seeing that unsponsored pug mix team sponsored under Immortals. So it just becomes this big question mark on whether or not we're actually going to see contracts come out of this, whether or not the team is going to stick around for a minute. But no, in terms of competition, Immortals, they've always been within the top 10 for a reason. They've always had a really good team strategically. It's all about just keeping that team for the long run, and even if they want to build on them. Again, they have the right coaching staff. They have always had the right players, but what's missing, Sully? Just the results?
Yeah, I think it's just not even just the results, because with the old Immortals roster, they always have had results. And
true.
I guess it's just like JC Stani wanted to go work with the Andbox project. I've got no idea. I'm curious to see. For now, though, we're gonna throw it to a quick break as his tech pause. We're gonna sort things out, and when we are back, we'll get right back into the game.
Oh man, it's so hot. You better get your sunscreen on, man.
Okay. You should put a sweatshirt on.
Oh no, it's heat stroke!
That's right, it's me, heat stroke. If you put on a sweatshirt, you won't have to worry about sunblock.
Wouldn't that make me hot?
What are you, a baby?
Is that? It can't be.
Oh my god, it's
Hydrate, homie! Oh.
That's right, it's me. Hydrate, homie.
Why hydrate, homie?
Excessive layers in heat like this can cause you to overheat. And that's exactly how heat stroke can get you.
Thanks, Hydrate, homie.
That's why you should just use sunblock. Sunblock is all the protection you need. And while hydration scientifically isn't proven to prevent heat stroke, I can. But I can't be everywhere.
Hydration rules.
Welcome back, folks. It is the Summer Championships brought to you by Nerd Street Gamers, and quarterfinals has arrived, and we are already in the middle of the best of three. However, a round in, we've actually had to remake the server. So sorry about that, folks. Sorry about the delay. We promise, though, we are getting back into the game right here, right now. My name's Upmine, joined here by Sully. It is Immortals facing off against Cloud9. And Sully, we already laid it out before, but just lay it out again. Probably the biggest banger of the weekend, a match worthy of grand finals.
Yeah, it's a match that could be in the grand finals. However, the reasoning that we have the matchup so early is because both these teams, they come in last second through the LCQ, and then they get matched up here early on in the playoffs, or at least the quarterfinals. Winner goes to the semifinals, where they will play either against BBG or Evil Geniuses. That quarterfinals will be going on our sister stream, Nerd Street 2, after the other best of three that's still going on. The first best of three that started today, after that finishes, then we will jump over to that best of three. But I mean, we're just chilling, we're waiting, we're figuring out what's going on, at least between the matchup, or at least on the server right now. I think it, like you said, it was a remake. I don't know if maybe if Emil had some issues. That's kind of what I'm imagining. That tends to happen.
That's the most obvious
when you're on 100
answer.
ping, right? Exactly. It tends to happen when you're playing in a completely different country, or even on the other side of the world.
Yeah, to explain what Sully is saying, folks, for those that haven't been following the tournament this weekend, Immortals are playing with a new 5th player. His name is Emil, and he's coming in from Europe. He's playing on 100+ ping, but I mean, that's allowed in this NSG tournament.
Yeah.
You said it, Sully. VCT tournaments, he wouldn't be allowed to play on this ping. Thus why we haven't seen him around in the scene recently. But he's been playing ranked. He's been playing 100+ ping matchmaking in NA for like the last month and a half. And I would like to assume that's how Immortals actually ended up finding him.
Yeah, we spoke on it before we went to our break, and now we're going to talk about it just a little bit again. It's the Immortals talent scouting is utterly phenomenal. The talent that they've been able to find, Dicey, who had basically never been in the FPS competitive scene, they scouted him out. He went to 100 Thieves, Kohler. I mean, JC Stoddy never had any experience before and very little competitive experience, and he found himself in an Andbox sit, currently free agent. So whatever Gunba has for us in Packington, whatever they have planned for this 5-man roster, it's definitely cooking. No matter what, with every new Immortals lineup, with every new 5, it's always taken a little bit of time for them to get acclimated to the new system that Gunba and Packington have and the new system that the IGLs have as well. So give it some time. Again, our biggest question is this 5-man roster going to stick? I'm hopeful, but I'm not 100% certain just because we don't know the situation with Emil just yet.
And I like how you mentioned the system, Sully, because again, we have more time to pad out because we are currently awaiting out the server to actually go live. But just laying it out there, the system for Immortals has changed quite a bit. Again, they are changing out a lot of their roles because of the fact that they're making just big overhaul type moves. They removed chemicals. They have been removing players in and out for the last 2 months. In fact, this time they're actually playing with 2 brand new players. Brand new. Rossi has been on the bench for a minute, but still 2 new players to the main roster coming into this tournament. And I mean, a couple of things have changed, including their map pool, which actually did allow maps like Icebox to really come back, even Breeze to slip on in. Immortals and Cloud9, it was expected that we would get the 3 maps that we did, and Icebox, at least what we're looking at, Sully, coming back to the game. Icebox for, I think, at least Cloud9, they're a little bit more experienced on it, but Immortals, they've had some incredible results on Icebox in the past.
Yeah, honestly, I don't 100% disagree with that statement, but lately it feels like it's been Immortals that have a lot more experience with their new 5-man, simply because Cloud9 haven't played this map in a month, or at least they've only played it once in the last month, and the last like major game they had was against Luminosity, where they lost, I think it was 9-13, I want to say, and that wasn't the best of games for Cloud9. That was the map that got them eliminated from the VCT and took them out of contention for even the close qualifiers. Whereas Immortals, they played it 3 times so far in the Summer Champs, and they're currently 3-0. So the map pool, I'd say, wasn't 100% expected, purely because Cloud9's map stats are definitely a whole lot more skewed than Immortals because of the fact that they haven't played all these maps as recently. However, I think the second map of Haven probably makes the most sense. They are utterly dominant, and the only loss they've had that makes no sense is to TLP Monkeys, and that went 13-11 earlier on in the group stages.
Yeah, and the only reason why you can really call it scattered is because, again, Cloud9, they haven't played tournaments for really over a month. Again, the last time they played was VCT, and it was the LCQ. But otherwise, they've really only been playing 3 maps. Sully, the only 3 maps that they have played has been Ascent, Haven, and Breeze. So this pool serves a lot more for what the current form is for Cloud9, if anything. Yes, Icebox hasn't exactly been played by them, very, very recently, but the same core of players played Icebox very commonly, just literally in the month before. Cloud9, yes, they don't have a lot of experience now, but they played it 9 times just in July, and you said it though, they did lose to LG, and everyone else was basically like tier 2s and tier 3s, but still, Cloud9, they know this map and what's up. It's actually pretty easy just to integrate one player into that lineup and into that system to potentially make it work. Again, folks, we are waiting up for the second round of the match to start. The score is currently 1-0 going over towards Immortals. And Sully, just to push the topic a little bit further, for Cloud9's side at least, let's talk about Vanity a little bit more. Vanity coming into this roster, yes, he's the new IGL. And Cloud9, they haven't exactly been one to make drastic changes, really, except for this tournament.
I definitely could say that, well, they're a team that just fluctuates with their rosters so much. First, you had a really nice core with Floppy, or apologies, not Floppy.
Actually,
Floppy,
you know what?
Poise,
they have 7 players.
Zeta, Mitch, right? And then next thing you know, they take out Poise, they bring in Zeppa. Next thing you know, Floppy's out. They bring back in Poise. Next thing you know, they bring out Poise, and back goes Vanity. And so the core, the consistent core has always been Leaf, Zeta, and Mitch. That has been like the 3 main for the past like 4 or so months. So They've made some pretty drastic changes, and every time there's a change, it feels like there's some crazy role swap. I think this time around, it's a little bit less. Before, we used to see Zeppa when Poise was playing, or when Floppy was in a lot of that being the first part of Stage 3. Zeppa was playing Jet, and I think it was Leaf that was instead taking over the Sage or the Reyna, and they were playing single duels on Icebox. And then Poise comes back in, Leaf is back to Sage, Zeppa's on Reyna, or I think he might have been on Viper for a stint. And then Poison gets sync out, in comes Vanity, and then suddenly Leaf is on the Jet instead of the Sage or Reyna, and then Zeppa's now on the Reyna. So it's been a turbulent past couple of months for Cloud9, and it's definitely been a very, very rocky one. But that's not to say the same, or not to say anything different for Immortals, because they themselves have had to go through a lot of role swaps, and with these two moves as well, it's a lot bigger than usual.
Yeah, at least for, you know, Emil, and the fact that he's literally only restricted to a Sentinel, and Rossi, who is only restricted to Astra. Yeah, I mean, everyone else for Immortals, the core three, just had to change everything entirely. I think I had an explainer a little bit earlier. Here we go. So they let go of True and Immortal and Chemicals. So they had to move Jonah P, who was playing Initiator secondary, but now he's playing main duelist, and everyone else, they're still scrambling, except for Gangsta. Gangsta can always chill in that Sova for all I care. Here we go, folks. This is finally the time that we've been waiting for literally the last 20 to 30 minutes. Probably just 15, 20 actually. But in we go anyways. The second round between Immortals and Cloud9. We are restarting this best of 3.
Oh, I love this poison orb. It's going to allow them to go straight under 2, but with these two players on the side of Immortals, both heavy contesting in towards B main, they shouldn't be ready. You look at the wall, it's going to separate these two players from the rest of site. Now, never mind, they're going to come pivoting back, trying to take this fight. Emil up top in kitchen, only good for 1. It's a 3-for-2 trade. As Cloud9 Blue have to reset themselves and see what they can find. Zeppa towards orange. Spike, not even in their hands. It's actually back towards undertube, so they can't even get a spike plan in this situation.
Nope, it's fully controlled by Immortals. Cloud9, I actually had just a little bit of hope in their actual setup. Like you said, over that mid side, very, very good idea. And especially for a quick little cheesy take, but that's just going to be the extent of the damage. Immortal is going to be able to get themselves a second. Lots of economic damage being done, though, you would like to think. A couple of Sheriffs were the only investment for a couple of players, but still an SMG being dropped. The economy not exactly stable yet.
Here's the thing, though, is that it would have been economic damage had Cloud9 Blue not forced into that round.
Have they not forced?
Going very heavy to that round, it's going to find themselves on Nico. So Immortals, if they win out this round clean, they should have another bonus. And if they were able to keep the clean slate in the last one, which they technically did with 3 players, their economy is going to be looking really solid in these upcoming rounds. Now, that's to say, it's only if Cloud9 Blue doesn't win out this round. We'll have to see a shot up looking to get early aggression towards A is Cloud9 Blue. Heavy contest, and we again see kind of this lurk setup, but instead it's accompanied here with Leaf, who gets a couple of tags onto Jonah P, causing a little disturbance, and it's slow from both sides at the moment, as neither team really wanting to give up early kills. Immortals don't want to give up any SMGs, and Cloud9 Blue know that if they play slow, they could find picks with these Sheriffs.
They absolutely could. Especially on the A site where there's so many headshot positions to be played. Emil is going to be able to get one. Leaf, a great trade back. Stellar shot. But yeah, the rest of Immortals playing some pretty cheeky spots. Cloud9 Blue could get a couple of wild headshots, but it's really going to be Cloud9 actually leaving out this A site. And I was about to say, Rossi, he has it all in the mid side, but Vanity takes him down.
Now he's grabbed a Spectre here. Jonah P really cannot contest this. Oh, never mind. He's going to go for it. 30 HP lost. Mitch even finding another kill on an A-lurk, watching for shot-ups aggression. Ooh. Jonah P will strike for 1, though, with his share, but he doesn't know that Zeppa slipped up top 2. And while he might deny the spike plan, he won't. All of this time, Leaf is just drawing attention. And look at this. Rotations are in, and Zeppa's got a flank on this last player, Gangsta. It's a tricky position. And Cloud9 Blue, that's the worst-case scenario for Immortals, as they win their forced buyback after forcing in the second round.
So, Sully, we look at the scoreline, nothing's really wrong about it. It's just the way that it happened. Again, an eco, a thrifty run out, one out by Cloud9, and for a very good reason. C9, a little bit scattered over towards A, very slow at that. Immortals, they ended up getting so much information. One person just contacting deep into B main early on. Same thing with 3 players in the A site, just trying to stay scattered. And Cloud9, they just didn't take initiative and actually push. Immortals, they were able to chill and get themselves the 1v1 picks that they wanted.
Oh, what a slower combo as well with a chalk dart. Leaf. That is an absolute tragedy, but you see the damage. 3 players, and because there's no Sage, no one's going to get a heal. Shot Up needs a kill to get back to full HP, or even just below half full HP. Immortals are going to find themselves with a stack on the A site. However, the routing goes the other way. Rossi might not be ready. Leap up close, and there goes one of your full HP players. A 4v5, and 3 players are already in the red.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. And nobody else is here on B2, so it's just going to be a free plant here for Cloud9. More control. Just a whole lot of shenanigans. And no, you're right, Sully. Look at Vanity just chilling over in the mid side. Nobody from Immortals can make their way through. Or at least that would be just a one and done frag. Vanity searching a little bit over towards that mid side. Mitch getting a little bit cheeky too over towards bathroom. Excuse me, over towards kitchen. Immortals. Sully, they're pretty much on full rifles, but so many of their players are lit that they simply can't make their way through. Cloud9 Blue is going to win this round, potentially with 9 players alive in the server.
I mean, okay, well, only 8, unfortunately. We'll see if we can get a little bit more damage. He certainly can. This is phenomenal from Leaf. I mean, he started off with Bladestorm, completely whiffed, but, I mean, he's going to get a couple charges back. And I'm not going to attribute to the fact that Cloud9 win this round because of a shock dart, but in this post plan, it's what won them the round because they have no heals available. And with 3 players already in the red, you could use that lockdown, but there's no point because it's such a risk to use a lockdown when 3 of your players are within 1 shot potential. Now with Immortals only saving 2 rifles here, it's going to be tricky footing into this next round as Cloud9 Blue, we've seen at least in these past 4 rounds how they like to work the A site and then instantly pivot back off of the Vanity Lurk and see what ground he can gain by himself. And I think we'll see that more or less in the same in this round as Cloud9 Blue have a full buy, but so do Immortals, and both teams are looking strong here with a default from both.
Yeah, it's just simply the fact that, you know, that peak wasn't exactly peaked out on. And also, folks, this is actually Vanity's, like, first tournament actually playing Viper. Very well done thus far in terms of utility, and that's already going to be an early push from Cloud9 Blue over towards mid. Big win over in tunnel. Leaf still trying to fight through alongside Zeppo. Rossi has the cross, but misses out on the initial shot. Hello, Emil! Emil! Where did he come from? And he's going to be able to get 2.
Keep in mind, this guy's at 100 ping, and now they've got 2 major ults. Immortals both with a Viper's Pit and a lockdown. Vanity will get this spike here, and doesn't have the orb to play with, or at least for the post plan, so he's just sitting with 2 snake bites, and he's going to fall all the way back. Now, Viper's Pit in the lockdown, if you want to use it, you're in a 4v3. I think this is the instance where maybe you consider it here for Immortals, but I love this slow approach. Everybody focusing in. They need to retake screens. With that wall going up, it's risky because there could be someone on top Raptors. However, Emil's going to get the clear. Lockdown will go in, and Immortals will scatter the rest of Cloud9 Blue.
Oh, Mitch. He gets pinged out too, so the high-low that they could have potentially played in the middle of site gets broken down, but everyone has already backed out. Vanity has the snake bite lineup. He already threw out 1. He throws out a second. No goes the defuse. Mitch gonna be able to get 2. Down goes the Viper's Pit. And now there's only 2 players remaining. Mitch trying to get the peek in. The Ares of Gangsta connects, but nobody's gonna be able to defuse. What a hold from Cloud9 in the Viper's Pit. Sully, even that didn't work.
No, not at all, because the post-plan utility from both Zeta and Vanity. I mean, look at this. First, the snake bite goes out. That puts Rossi on vulnerability. It's 1 bullet for Mitch through a Viper's Pit. He plays with his food. He gives the calm that, okay, there's a second one on. Vanity's already thrown the second snake bite down. 1 shock dart forces shot off the spike. And Cloud9 Blue steal a round from Immortals off of a 4v3 with 2 of the biggest retake ults.
Indeed. It's a little unfortunate for Immortals that all of that was expended. Now Cloud9, they can really just farm up this next round, just trying to improve their economy a little bit more. Immortals, they do have a good hold here in the middle of site. 3 players around. Shot Up going to be able to get 1. Rossi over towards the mid side with another kill onto Vanity. He was on the flank. Everyone else for Cloud9 is in the middle of the A site. They have actually a wall up to be able to plant. Out goes the wide swing from Jonah P. Good spot from Zeta, but Rossi, uncontested, he gets the kill, meaning that we're at a 2v2.
Yeah, these rounds are getting exceptionally close.
1 enemy remaining.
Lesser guns from Immortals doing damage. Now it's Leaf to fight back. That res definitely come in handy now, as Immortals looked good. I mean, the flank coming in from Vanity was kind of nullified with how delayed the fight was on top boiler. Well, Gangsta, this is a little bit unfortunate. He's just going to get dinked down. It's not a bad round, though, from Immortals. Knowing that the last round, only one person survives. Having this round here,
Good
only
try.
2 players survive, you're going to feel the economic heat, and you draw out a revive in this situation. So, overall, it's not a win for Immortals, but underlying underneath that, it's looking pretty good for them, and you can battle economically here against Cloud9 Blue as you have your full buyback.
Yeah. No, very true. I mean, the last round we ended up getting was the Hunter's Fury, the Empress, and the Bladestorm getting charged up for Immortals. Cloud9 Blue wasting out the revive, 3 guns getting dropped. So yeah, no, I mean, like I said, for Cloud9, that round was literally just trying to solidify. They just went through a couple of very close rounds with Immortals. A lot of their players had to rebuy multiple times. So we're still seeing their economy at around that 2K credit to 1.5K credit range, which simply isn't going to help them going forward. They can't survive a round and a half like that. At most, it gives them a 1 round cushion, but Cloud9 still on a little bit of ice. Very good round finish, though. Actually taking away the last player, though. The second to last player that they killed actually already had their Bladestorm ready. Could have actually been a possible retake at that, but things are getting close, folks. Things are getting fun. As this timeout runs out, it is going to be Immortals back with a rifle round.
Ooh, yeah, look at Zeppa. Down to 550. I was thinking maybe Leaf drops over the Phantom and then he plays with his Bladestorm here, but it doesn't look like he wants to do that. Cloud9 Blue, real to their own. Almost the exact same, except swap out the Viper's Pit and the Hunter's Fury for one another. Immortals, an operator picked up for Jonah P here on this A site, and it looks like SoaR is going to take position on top 410. Jonah P's just watching for any belt swing. Again, we see this slow and kind of aggressive take towards A as you put 4 players here and you leave Vanity just to lurk over the B site. And so far, we've seen a lot of cancellation from Cloud9 Blue in this situation. You have that poison of the dart back mid. However, this time it is a full commit, and SoaR is going to find one into Leaf.
Jonah P with a wide angle, and he's only able to get the leg of Zeppa. And just like that, both Zeta and Zeppa backing out at the same time. Zeta a little bit close to actually getting shot there at the very end. Vanity has to be very careful. This is the first time that we're really seeing Immortals anchor be like this. Look at the angle over towards Snowman. It's a little bit cheesy, but
his back is turned
on a silver platter. Rossi takes down one of the most important ultis in terms of a B hold, and now Rossi can continue to hold this site.
Yeah, and he had that poison already with that snake bite. Line up, Emil up top, 100 ping. It doesn't really matter. Emil finds a 3K to close out the round, and well, he's going to take it from right underneath Cloud9 Blue. Sink it to half. I think they're going to try and get onto Emil for the lockdown or pick up whatever guns they can. That's a lockdown now, only 1 charge away after just using it 2 rounds ago. Flawless for Immortals, and that's a back-breaking round where it puts Cloud9 Blue off of this next buy with nothing but scraps.
No, dude, I'm an Emil stan at this point. Holy. Dude has 8 kills. He's playing with 100+ ping at the moment, and he's playing in a server with 10 tier 1 players. Unreal. Unreal. Good stuff, Emil. 3 low kills there. That's going to at least take Immortals back into this game. They're going to have enough economy for, again, about 2 rounds. Cloud9, I said it though, disaster scenario. They're 1 away from a reset already.
Ooh, it looks like they're just going to try and full send into the A site. This time there is no fake, there is no ruse, and well, that's a lovely shot. Hunter's Fury coming out. It's a counter back from Gangsta, but it's not going to connect onto Zeta. Zeta looking for Rossi. Emil's made a rotation on in. He's boosted up towards the top 10. However, in top 10 or top nest, if you want to call it, he's dueling against Zeppa. He still wins out that fight. Nonetheless, so with that fast take from Cloud9 Blue, catching Immortals off guard, it looks like it could be a round of low. Gangsta and SoaR trying to work in tandem to bring this back.
SoaR getting shot. There's one person actually going for a wide swing. That was Vanity, but SoaR ends up getting that trade anyways. Dismissed right in the middle. Leaf was there too, but he's not going to be there for the swing anyways. But with time, disastrously low. SoaR trying to force out the situation onto Zeta over towards main. Leaf, what a genius though, right? Booking it all the way back towards main. He doesn't expect it at all. SoaR spent a solid 10 seconds there just trying to find Leaf in the middle of the B lane, but instead Leaf was just booking it back over towards B main. The 2v1 played out to a T.
Yeah, and Gangsta, or apologies, not Gangsta, Zeta does a really good job of taking a reposition. Like, we'll go back and watch this highlight. He was first front yellow, then he works his way back yellow and crosses all the way back to B main, and like you were saying, Shot Up is just so paranoid that Leaf could come in at any moment to strike, and with that wall slowly starting to fade, the wall bang ability presents itself as well. It was almost an unwinnable position, however, Shot Up made it nearly possible by almost finding that kill onto Leaf. However, Cloud9 Blue winning that round, keep themselves alive. I think putting a lot of pressure towards the B site, similar to what they did in the last round. This time it's a fake though, it's not a full commit. And while it hasn't drawn any rotations, it will at least force these Immortals players back a little bit and give them a lot more ground to take the B site.
Yeah, but this is probably going to be the biggest tug of war for a single site that we've seen yet, unfortunately. For Immortals, that may be. Cloud9, all 5 players here. This may be their trap. Again, all of this util in the middle of sites. Immortals, all they can do is wait. Out goes a Recon bolt, and now finally goes the wall down. They're not going to try to fight it. They do end up bringing it down, but it's going to be a 5v5 post plan.
Oh, Zeppa!
Make it a 3v5. Zeppa comes up from behind.
That util that was placed all over front yellow is now completely gone. And Immortals, Zeppa off of a single play, walking through the Viper's wall, finding a double, and now it's left onto 3. Jonah P, Shot Up, and Gangsta, and all 5 players of Cloud9 Blue are posted up. If one goes down, the second's there to swing, and it should be a flawless round here. Yeah, it looks like Immortals are going for the save. They don't have the credits to buy up. They keep on these 3 rifles. They very well might just. Jonah P can drop over a rifle, play with a blade storm, but they are looking for exits. Shot Up, clinical and clean, but he's on 3 HP, and he simply cannot go down. As now Gangsta at the fall, you need these 2 rifles left alive, and well, Cloud9 Blue, a clean round, and well, only one staying alive. It's unfortunate for Immortals at the very end, but 6-3, Cloud9 Blue. After a quick start, it's a slow finish as they take the round.
This is going to be an awkward scenario. Who's going to pick up the op? Is there going to be a rebuy? The Jet does have actually knives out, but we actually see what happened.
That's crazy.
Just a little bit, huh?
Yeah, they break the wall, and then Zeppa gets the timing where the snakebite comes out, and then he swings. Very well played, and
so sneaky.
As we were talking about earlier, Immortals are essentially reset. You see the operator. It's going to be held on to by Jonah P. And he's going to get aggressive very early towards A, and they're all going to rotate back to the B site, and I love that Nanostorm coming in. This is the combo I was talking about between KJ and Viper, and how it can really stave off a plan here towards the B site. Leaf taking a dash on over. He's going to spot up the turret. He's giving comms, but Cloud9 Blue are still marching their way up B main. Watch out for that util, though.
Yeah, Leaf getting pelted a little bit. But he only takes a shock dart on. Shot up. This is ballsy, but it could be the timing that he wants. And indeed it is. Same thing with Jonah P. 2 players from Immortals getting some big early picks. One of them very ballsy to go into that back line. But as this goes down, Cloud9 going to be able to plant the spike all the way over towards that B site. Zeta still trying to cover. Emil with a big kill onto Zeppa. Mid still trying to hold it down. 1-man advantage back for Immortals.
Lockdown goes in. That makes things a lot more difficult. Zeta sitting on just 100 HP, and I love this. They're getting aggressive. They want to try and take the fight. However, with too many players, it's not going to be doable. Immortals take a 4th round, and it was only with 1 save rifle. That operator coming in big, at least over towards that flank side. So Vanity couldn't play the post plan with snake bites. Cloud9 Blue, though, off of a full buy, dropping the round here to Immortals to 6-4.
Yeah, that's another one. That's another one that you just got to keep kind of just shaking your head at. If you're Cloud9, that's the only round they shouldn't let go. But really, both Cloud9 and Immortals have dropped a thrifty round like that. So, I mean, it's just a little bit of karma, a little bit of equalization. And it could be that by the end of the half, too. We're getting dangerously, dangerously close for Immortals to actually have a pretty free last round. Cloud9 Blue dwindling in cash a little bit. They will have some of the rifles back if they do end up losing, but you still got to watch out for util and armor. Going into the next round, though, it is still that same KJ and Viper setup over towards the B site, and Cloud9 are actually backing out towards it.
I think that Emil has repositioned his Nanostorm because last round the Storm didn't reach all the way. I think he's actually, never mind, thrown it right. Yeah, never mind. So if Cloud9 Blue plant on that like corner of those wires, then the Storm won't hit, and I don't even know if Rossi's in position to support. Then he snake bites, and yeah, so the Swarm here is going to pop, and I don't think it's going to affect it, not at all. Sage already has heal up or res up, so it's not going to really come into effect in this round, or at least with that, it's that spike plan. Vanity playing very deep in the back of attacker spawn as the Viper's pits come out to take control. However, Leap is just going to sit and play with his right click.
Yep. Leaf just wants to go for a couple of right clicks. That's great timing from Emil, but that's really about it. What comes down to the defense now, Cloud9 has a couple of players around all throughout the perimeter, but Immortals, they have full control. Jonah B, he actually got a little bit scared by his own teammate, but all good FNS. Immortals now 3-man up. The defuse going down. Vanity has no chance. He gets overwhelmed, and that's just a great retake, Sully. It was just that Viper's Pit that ends up making it happen, and everyone else from Cloud9 just trying to scrap out for the middle of site.
Yeah, Leaf kind of trying to go for a solo play is going to get early punished, and then with everyone in Immortals just instantly taking this ground, we'll see right after this kill, and you look on the minimap, instantly players just swarm the front of the smoke, and anyone that wants to try and deny it, you look at that snake, but it bounced off the wall, so Vanity couldn't even buy time. 6-5, Immortals 1 round away from tying and 1 round away from ending. The half, the buy for Cloud9 is not looking good. They're going to change things up. At least today hit this time around. That owl drone getting a little bit of information. I think it actually tagged 2 players with it, so decent info into the back lines. A swap with the operator back to a Phantom here as Jonah P and Shot up together in the back site.
Oh, this wall's gonna go down at really any moment, but that is so unfortunate. Shot up, he takes a random headshot through the smoke, and he ends up going down on a hit to a singular body shot. Now in comes the invasion of C9. They end up getting another one in the back line. That's 3 players going for a wide swing. This wall is helping them so much. It is just siphoning all of these Immortals players into 1v1s, and Cloud9 has Immortals right where they want them, 7-5, and indeed, they do end up collecting up the successful half that they were looking for and the momentum that they had midway through. Folks, the second half will be commencing. Welcome on back. The second half between Immortals and Cloud9 Blue here on Icebox about to go down. It is the quarterfinals here for the NSG Summer Champs. My name is Upmind, joined here by Sully, and let's get into it. Immortals now on the attacking side, and Sully, do you see anything missing from the A site right now?
You know, I mean, I see a red line, but I don't see any like moving circles with icons on the A site, so it's completely empty. Cloud9 Blue seemingly playing a full retake over a slow start, and you look at this from the Cloud9 Blue camp. Both Leaf and Zeppa getting aggressive towards B main. Now, however, Rossi with the timing is going to look away, and he's not going to get anything as he gets taken down. There's one on the flank, no post-plant util, so it actually makes things a lot easier here for the side of Cloud9.
Just a little bit. See if that util actually works out, though. Vanity, what a lineup! Holy! That snake bite actually landing right in the middle of default all the way from the mid side. That's going to delay the plant just a little bit more. That actually does allow all 4 players to be here at the same time. Excuse me, all 5 to be here, ready for that retake.
Wow.
And indeed, it goes down at the same time. Zed and Leaf going to be able to get 2 kills. Leaf coming up from behind, and that's a 3rd free one for him. His Blade Storm getting dangerously close to getting charged up already, but Cloud9 Blue, they start the half off right.
Yeah, what a really, it looks strange at first, but that's a brilliant call. So we were questioning, like, okay, there's no one at the A site. However, Vanity throws a poison orb between E-Box and 410, which gives the illusion that there's presence on the A site, and that's why Immortals went a lot slower than anticipated, despite the 2 players pushing through B main. And then you have Sova and Viper in close proximity to dump their util to deny the spike plant and allow for those races to come in quicker. So it looks unorthodox, but diving deeper into that round, it's an incredibly well thought out round with the fake Viper orb and then those 2 players again. Immortals, they're going to force up here nonetheless to see what they can battle back with. It's 4 Spectres and an Ares, whereas Cloud9 Blue, very similar. 3 Spectres and 1 Ares, as the Ghost is going to be used here by Leaf. I think he's looking to get on his ult very, very soon, or at least, never mind. He's going to force up the Phantom last second. So we'll see if Cloud9 Blue can keep things clean here and hold on to that Phantom.
Hello, Emil. I think the best that someone can do at 100 ping is go for cheese and just try to make things as difficult as possible for your near perfect connection opponent.
Right.
Sitting in an off angle deep over towards B main and over in A. Immortals making their take. There you go. Emil, there you go. There you go. Yeah, Emil was just forgetting about the second part about holding an off angle, actually looking at the off angle, but we're good. He ends up getting the kill anyways. Immortals now 2 men up again on just Spectres. C9 currently with 3 players in the back line. Yes, they have control of this site, but there's so much util in the middle here. Some of it gets scattered though. Vanity with a big kill onto Rossi. 2 more players remaining now for Immortals. Kill back from Zeppa. Emil now the last one remaining in a 1v2, but Zeppa is all too close and gets the trade in on time. And that's going to be the end of the round. Cloud9 with a 9th one, but Immortals, they had all the right options, didn't they?
Yeah, it was extremely close. Emil, I think the reasoning why he was looking at that corner is because his barrel would have stuck out just slightly. And I don't know if Leaf saw him. Like, I thought on his POV there was like a slight sliver of his body that Emil, or that he would have seen from Emil, but I don't even know. Yeah, so he looks into this corner because of the fact that his barrel would have stuck out, and Emil sees his barrel first, and very well thought out by Emil. Like you said, if you're on 100 ping, you got to try and find some cheese. And he's top fragging on a 150 ping for Immortals. It's not the round they were hoping to win. However, because of the casualties and the spike they got down, they can full buy here again.
How are they going to treat this one out, knowing that it's potentially even more fragile?
Ooh.
It's heavy control over towards B main. That seems to be the answer, but oh my. They've thought about it 2 rounds in a row. Last round it was Emil. This time it's 2 players from Immortals peeking out that same B main angle. Gangsta ends up getting the kill this time. Still Cloud9 trying to force their way into that back line, trying to recover up that rifle. Indeed, they've gotten it back.
Lovely Aljo and Tag will get the info that there are 2 players in the deep, and Zeppa. Oh, a great moment to pounce. However, Gangsta spinning back with that Ares is good to find a second off of it. 4v3.
Plant the spike.
Both the Sova and Viper here again to use that util to maybe cause a delay. Oh, he looks the wrong way. Jonah B wanted to break the bolt, but he gets caught. Now with 3v3 as Rossi's going to trade back. Now things are getting a little bit dicey for Cloud9 Blue as shot up. Great with that dismiss. Is going to draw attention and take his life back to the middle of sight as Mitch in a 1v2. He's got 1 flanking up between screens and him, and it's difficult as he's just dancing around. And well, he could have stuck the spike, but he's got no information on these last 2 players. It's so tricky to play. As now shot up on the high ground. Recon ball broken, distracted. And Immortals, off of a 3rd force, a 2nd in a row, are going to find themselves at a 9-6 scoreline where they could reset Cloud9 Blue here shortly, which they already have.
They already have. Cloud9, they had to already go through a bit of a force going into this round. Again, I think that's probably just the best thing about buying up round number 2 is that possibly you can actually buy rounds 2 and 3 because of how damaged your opponent's economies are. I mean, you essentially have reset potential 2 rounds in a row But also depends if they got picks, and they absolutely did get the picks that they needed in that second round. So things are just fine in the Immortals camp. They don't even need to worry about rebuying Sully. They mostly still have SMGs. They're treating this as a bonus. Or treating this to lead up into a bonus is what I'm trying to say.
Zeppa just watching belt for Leaf. At least gives a clear exit for Leaf. He can dash back towards Box. However, he's gonna get a little bit too aggressive, and his head bumping on top of the roof. Zeppa there to try and help him out, but with the better rifles and the better guns, it's all Immortals so far. Zeta up close will be lucky to find something. They actually all go around him, and he gets on the rope. You know, shooting the classic, put a leer out. It spins back from shot up, and all my worries have been relieved. As Vanity in the 1v5, he's, I guess you could say, looking for damage, but I think at this point in time, he's, I don't even know what he's gonna look for here. It's definitely damage and maybe ult points, but other than that, it's not much else.
Hey, Emil.
Hey, you got one.
Hi, Emil. Oh, that is so evil. Gangsta, come on, man. He's like, at one point, he was right behind the turret. You're already facing a guy without armor. I actually can't believe, by the way, we didn't put like too much emphasis on it. We had a 1v2 turret clutch the other day. I couldn't actually... I can't actually believe how much damage that thing does. It's actually more of a menace to anti-ecos than I thought.
And in pistol rounds, it's always so scary if you're up against a KJ 1v1 and you're low HP as well. It's that turret thing, dude. It's got aim hacks.
It's a six-player, dude.
It's a legitimate aimbot, by the way. But
it's legit.
Cloud9, they will have their buyback. Full rifles on both sides, and you said it. Immortals are going to treat this kind of as a full bonus. Emil, the only player falling. Light reinvestment back. Vanity. Snakebite goes out, but he's forced off the ankle. He still does have that wall to play with, so I'm curious to see how he plans to use it. If the retake has to come down, as you see Immortals with 3 big ultimates. Obviously, shot up can be so impactful with the Empress, but that lockdown and Viper's Pit for the postman, I mean, you're on a bonus here. You might try and use at least both of these ults because of the fact that you know you'll reset Cloud9 blue. But Vanity finding a kill in the last round and going down to give him 2 ult points, and all he needed was 1 here to get the Viper's Pit online.
Yeah, one more thing. I mean, he had the Viper's Pit. That's what they were lining up for, Sully. That's what that smoke setup was for. He was trying to give him like a red carpet to be able to go into the middle of sight and get a Viper's Pit deep. But Vanity ends up dying because of that gap. And now Cloud9 blue on the other side of the map getting another kill. Things are breaking down for Immortals here. They had their plan, but they could still make it work. They have 2 of the best ultimates alive at the moment. Immortals, they just need this plan.
I think they would have loved to have the Viper's Pit in this situation, but that lockdown, if they can get it in. Zeppa, though, they're going to deny the spike plan. Now there's no point in using it as Emil goes down as well. A great swing from Leaf. And, well, Vanity locking down the B site with a single frag to get the Viper's Pit online and then forcing them back towards A, where there's already so many players from Cloud9 blue. It's 10-7, and Immortals bonus doesn't pan out the way they were hoping. So they're going to work back here with another full buy. However, this was the engagement. A tiny gap in Vanity. Finding Rossi's head is what won them the round, or at least forced them back to the A site. And another great kill from Leaf coming out. Immortals, like I mentioned, will have the full buy back here, but what's the difference? What's the change? We see Vanity already lined up towards B main. Gonna toss down a Snakebite early. I'd imagine to try and deny them info, but you instantly counter back with an hour drone as Vanity falling off as they're feeling that pressure.
And is very simple. Slice down of a Snakebite, but otherwise wants to play disciplined over towards the back of B. The rest of Immortals, though, actually are making their way through. I do like that little lurk that we're having on the other side of the map. Otherwise, nothing too crazy. It is going to be Immortals. They have 1 orb still, and they've won main.
I was gonna say that I don't think they want to grab it simply because they've cut complete noise, but
yeah,
a shock dart landed heavy onto both Gangsta and Jonah P, so it's gonna weaken them a whole lot. A lovely shot from Vanity. Zeppa taking a swing from high-low. Unfortunately, the low play doesn't work out, and they're gonna try and recoup here. Use a Hunter's Spear. However, Vanity gets spotted out last second, or he didn't even get spotted. He just got tagged, and he goes down for a 4v3. Immortals can reroute, but look at this, Gus.
Oh, no. Look at this spot. Leaf has it all. He waits for 1. He could potentially get a second, but he's going to start already with 1. Emil down to 70 HP off of that. Zeta needs this kill, and Zeta's going to be able to get it. And now it's Mitch in a 1v2 in the middle of this site. Lockdown goes down, but Rossi. Oh, that is so clutch. How's your lineups, Leaf?
Is it a hit?
Oh, good for a second, but it's a little bit off. And why did I say Leaf? It's Zeta, clearly. It's Zeta in a 1v2. Viper's pit in the middle of sight. Again, that Viper, incredibly low. But again, both the Viper's pit and the lockdown going down. Zeta had no chance of making it into the middle of the site with time. But this is good, though. Did he spot out the nano swarms? He certainly did catch the turret. There you go. No, he's just spraying through just to try to get rid of everything. And now the Viper's pit has actually gone down because of how far away the Viper is. The nano swarm's still there. The second one is still there. Zeta hasn't cleared out anything. And Zeta, absolutely done for. Has to be. These last two players, they haven't even peaked yet, and they keep delaying time. Little did he know is that he had a second snake bite. Rossi alongside Emil. Great patience, and that's a big round.
That has to be like the worst post-plant situation for any team.
Dude, that sucks.
When the last like two or even a third player are either Viper KJ or Viper KJ plus SoaR, that's got to be like that's the worst combination to play against in a post-win situation. And with all that util dumped, Zeta never stood a chance. 10-8 for Immortals. They're almost on the brink of resetting Cloud9 Blue entirely. Vanity's gonna have to work with a Stinger here. Jonah P looking to take top belt control early on. Now, how do Cloud9 Blue want to set up? It looks like they're again just leaving a very open A bomb site. Leaf really not in a position to overcommit. He might just want to back away off of that recon bolt or that owl drone, apologies. However, he's still sticking around the back. He's even gonna re-aggress into Mace here. So not too bad of a setup, as Emil's gonna get in for that once push down, but Jonah P's gonna find the head of Leaf, and that's opened up this site.
There's still one over towards that back line, still trying to fight, still trying to get a couple of picks in. And there you go. It was Zeta! Zeta!
What?
Zeta out of nowhere, and Zeta's still alive! Still trying to rotate around that back area. And Zeppa gets Rossi, who was in the middle of the middle box. Emil now in a 1v3. You get a 1v2. But Zeta, we go off of him for a split second, but he was just in the best position possible. Elevated on rafters at all the view possible, and now it's Emil. So with just about 40 seconds left, Spike is elevated. Sully, he has to get on ropes if he even wants to get to the Spike. This is just such an awkward situation.
30 seconds left.
Oh, Vanity making that cross. Oh, that's a far classic shot. A far classic shot for an 11th round. Immortals, that was the round where they could have almost fully reset Cloud9, but it's such a scattered buy here, and I think this is the perfect time for Gunbo to call attack pause, because you have to work out what's the buy, and you're in this situation because of a crazy hold from Zeta. A crazy hold. And well, he could have had a fourth there had it not been for Zeppa. However, now you are Immortals. Now you've got a very awkward situation where a couple players are on 5K, the rest you're going to be in 1,000. This is the time where, with this minute, you're going to have to sort out your economy. You're going to have to try and make a change to your play style. However, I don't think that's the issue. I think that round just falls into the hands of one person. Again, Zeta coming up big with a 3K. Now Immortals, if they want to change their style, I guess the only thing you can really say is try and play a little bit slower, try and win out these early duels, but they have been doing that, and it comes down to those single plays where everything kind of just falls apart.
Yeah, just a little bit, right? It is kind of tough for how Immortals have actually been playing some of these rounds out. It's kind of just normal Valorant at this point. Lots of early contact and still mostly movement. Immortals, we haven't seen too much conviction in terms of just, you know, full takes, but that's just leaving Cloud9 on their feet. If Immortals can really make these SMGs work and really just get their way on site quickly, we could see a relatively, you know, quick clear, especially for the B site from earlier. Those takes have actually been working pretty efficiently. Cloud9, they haven't found the right formula yet on having to defend that site. Wow. Out goes Immortals, though. Off of the pause, they immediately go over towards the mid side. There's one in B main too. That
is some lovely utility coming out from Cloud9 Blue to immediately put a stop to this mid play. Slow orb, shock dart, all coming out here. Oh, that is not the heaviest tag action to Jonah P. I thought we would have done a lot more. However, removing most of his shield. Emil was here the whole time, and now he's allowed his team to work back on in. Mitch still hovering around top 2, but it's Vanity lone here on the B bomb side. And look at the ults. Hunter Siri to deny from cross map. If that's the case, Sage Res available as well. So a lot here for Cloud9 Blue, and I love Vanity. He's going to toss Snakebite. He's going to immediately back away, and See if he can stay alive. However, one player slips through, shot up, risking it all, and Vanity can spray through the box, but he's dealt with them accordingly. He's gonna even get aggressive. Vanity is unstoppable. Spike down, but that doesn't mean anything if you're Immortals.
No, not at all. Not at all. Emil. Well, it's certainly a chance. It's a 1v5. No flank coming in. There goes the elevated eye already, and Emil already running for the hills. Sully, you already see the economy in the top right corner, or bottom right corner, excuse me. I can't even, position things right. Emil, not with a lot of cash whatsoever. The defuse is going to go down. Cloud9 only now 1 round away from winning out this first map, being 1 map away, of course, from semifinals. But again, Immortals, man. I mean, they had everything over towards that mid site, but you said it immediately, Sully. It was the coverage from Cloud9, and it was the immediate answer that just ended up leading them into the round win in general.
And with one tentative last buy for the Immortals camp, it's Cloud9 Blue that hold on to that revive and the 2 duelist ultimates.
Revealing area.
Slow start to try and find these picks. As the last round, they wanted to dictate and change the pace off of attack pause, that being aggression. They revert back to the normals. Emil looking for something down towards mid. It's Mitch that is very cautious, and Vanity denying. That's a kill that activates a Viper's Pit, and that is B site. Not on full lockdown, but definitely.
Oh, look at him go. Look at him go deeper.
Difficult. Oh, Emil right through the corner. It's going to be Vanity to find it. That's 2 kills for the Cloud9 Blue side. And now Immortals are scattered across the map, and they have to find a recovery.
Immortals, this is just the most disaster start, but if you're Vanity, we absolutely take those. And it's Mitch with another 1v1 win. Shot up at the same time with a wide swing over in heaven. Still helping out a bit. The last 2 players for Immortals making quite a bit of noise, making their way over towards the A site. Zeppa has the angle. He gets a lot of damage onto Jonah P. Jonah P down to 70. Good defense from Zeppa, and Cloud9